This video is sponsored by Gravitas, founded by UK Spurs fan and fragrance YouTuber Mr. Smelly 1977,
and is handmade in England, a classic fragrance for modern times.
Get your bottle now, link in the description below. What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here. Match preview for the massive game this weekend at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham against Leicester, 2nd v 4th. I mean, if you thought last week against Liverpool was a big game, I mean, they're just getting bigger and bigger as the games go on. If Leicester beat us, they can leapfrog us. If we beat Leicester, we get a really nice, comfortable 4-point cushion.
Yeah.
How are you feeling coming to the game? You confident?
Yeah, look, we've been playing well. I know last couple of games haven't really gone our way. We've kind of had problems in both games controlling the opposition, but I still think you can make a good argument in both games that we could have easily come away with a victory in both of those. So I still think we've got that consistency in our performances in terms of looking to win every game. I think Leicester come into this obviously they've won a lot of games, but they've also lost a lot of games. So it's difficult to see it's difficult to know which Leicester you're going to get. They're kind of inconsistent in that kind of way. Whereas Spurs, even when they don't win, it's still very hard to beat. We still have that consistency. Yeah. So. Look, I'm confident. I'm confident that we have the tools that are right for this game for sure. I think this game Mourinho enjoys for sure playing against a team like Leicester. I think we're definitely going to get some joy. I don't think it's going to be a great game. I can see it being a tight game, but I could definitely see Spurs exploiting Leicester's deficiencies at the back because like we did at the back end of last year, we just keep it tight at the back, play a bit of a low block, and exploit the space Leicester leaving behind. And I think we can do that.
When you look at our kind of past games between Leicester, we've won 4 out of the last 5 against them. So in terms of that, I mean, the form's good in terms of the Spurs over Leicester. Last year, I think the back end of last year was quite a comfortable victory, wasn't it?
Won 3-0. It was 3-0 after about half an hour. I remember it was very early. Kane had a great game.
And after that, it was just a nothing game.
Yeah, killed it. We just killed the game. I remember they had Lloris made a few saves, but I think Leicester this season have been a bit of a mixed bag. Although they're in 4th and they're doing well, they've had a lot of injuries and they've coped with those injuries really well. They have had a lot of inconsistent results, losing at home to Fulham, one of the very few sides to do that. Just lost at home to Everton 2-0. They obviously got battered by Liverpool. If you compare our performance at Anfield to theirs, it's like night and day. They got absolutely annihilated, and whereas ours was a lot closer. They lost at home to Villa and they lost at home to West Ham. So actually, away from home, they've been a lot better than at home.
I think we've seen that from a lot of teams this season, to be fair.
And I think it suits Leicester to play away from home more than to play at home because they like to sit back a bit more and play on the counter. However, I think they'll come into this game off the back of a defeat. They're going to want to get a reaction to that, so they might come out a bit on my feel in this game. Leicester.
But I think they know if they come out though, it'll play into our hands even more. So I think Brendan Rodgers is a bit more streetwise than that.
Potentially, it's going to be a difficult game. I can't see it being easy. I think it'll be tight because, as you say, Brendan is quite streetwise, and look, maybe a draw will be a good result for them at the end of the day. Considering the good form we're in, I think we've got quite good home form now. We're 3 on the bounce, I think, wins not after we didn't win our first 3.
It's a bit mad because the first bit of the season, it was our away form that was stealing the headlines. Now it's like our away form's kind of tailed off a tiny bit, and our home form's come back.
Yeah, so we won our first 4 away games and didn't win on our first 3 home games. Then we've won our last 3 home games and haven't won our last 3 away. So it's kind of levelling out a bit. But I think Leicester are definitely beatable. They're definitely beatable.
Yeah, of course.
And if we get an early goal, I really back us to kind of control the game where we want the game to be controlled. And I think I can see us again doing what we've done in previous games, really going for the jugular at the beginning, trying and getting that early goal, and putting pressure and having Leicester come onto us. I mean, giving them possession, and we know that if they have a lot of possession, that's when they usually struggle. So I can see that happening, and. I think we can definitely get the win in this game. I'm confident. They got some good players. They definitely do, but we've kept our better players.
Yeah, when you're talking about our ambitions this season, ambitions to challenge for the title this season. That's the ambition.
Yeah.
And when you look at how the last 2 games have gone, obviously drawn away at Palace and lost away at Liverpool.
Big blow.
Big blow. So does that make it even more important to win this weekend? I mean, because if we win this weekend, people are talking about Leicester potentially being up there with us for challenging for the title.
For sure.
And to put a 4-point gap at this stage of the season, how big is that?
Not that big. It's not that big to have a 4-point gap at this stage of the season because there's so many games left. So 4 points is not a lot.
When you're talking about the league being so tight as it is now,
a
4-point gap is quite big.
It's better because obviously that's 2 games instead of 1 game. Like that can change everything. But 4 points is still very small margin at this stage of the season. So it's not. I don't think it's that massive to have 4-point gap. You just need to start getting wins. If you get wins over your rivals, that's massive. But I think for Spurs at the moment, these early starts they've kind of been working in our favour a lot because we either get the early goal, and to be fair to us, even if we do go behind, we do seem to be responding in a very good fashion when we do go behind. Every time
nothing in the game can affect you.
Exactly. If I'm trying to think of this season, right, apart from the Everton game, where we didn't have a good response to going behind. Every time we've gone behind, we've responded really strongly and really quickly, and looked to get a goal very quickly, and most times we have or should have. The only time we didn't was against Palace, where Guaita had to make 3 or 4 really good saves at the end of the match. So that's the only time we responded, and we didn't really get a goal in response. But I think
even against Palace we responded. We just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net.
That's what I'm saying. Liverpool, we conceded straight away, or very quickly we scored. United conceded early, scored straight away. Southampton conceded early, we hit back. So I think that's why I think that Mourinho can afford to have these fast starts, because he knows we're very likely to get a goal if we do this, and if we don't, even if we do concede, then we always like to hit back and respond well, like we have been doing. So I can see us doing the same, and it's been tactic that's been working for us recently.
Where do you kind of see the key matchups on the pitch?
I think for sure that if Fuchs is playing. For Leicester, we'll see whether him or Castagna. Even if Castagna's playing, I think their fullbacks can definitely.
I've been impressed with Castagna. He had a good start to the season.
He had a good start, and then he's been injured now for a while. So whether he'll be fully fit, or we'll see what state he's in if he does start. He's been alright for Leicester.
When you compare him to Matt Doherty.
Yeah, he's been better than Doherty.
You've got to say that, and you've got to say
not better than Aurier though.
No, but we were looking to bring in a right back in the summer, and they were talking about either Castagna, Doherty, Max Aarons. But when you compare those two, you got to say Castagna looks like the better signing right now.
Right now he does, yeah. But then again, if you look after the first game, Allen looked like a better signing than Højbjerg.
True.
You know what I mean?
But true.
But yeah, no, you're right. Of course it does. But you got to say Aurier's our number one, so that's who you're really comparing him to. But I think the fullback areas for sure, Leicester can be vulnerable at. That's where we got a lot of joy last time out. And even they played a back three. I'm not sure if they're going to play back three this time, but they played Wilfred Indeed in centre.
They played Wes Morgan against us at the back end of last season.
They did, and Ryan Bennett. That's probably why they struggled. But I think they played Indeed and Fofana as centre back pairing. And although they're very physical. In terms of Indeed's not a natural centre back, so hopefully that's something we can exploit potentially. And Fofana might be a bit inexperienced, although he's done great stuff so far.
I've been really impressed.
I have been very impressed with Fofana, but I think they're definitely a defence is something we can definitely get the better of. I think in midfield they usually have midfield Tielemans.
He's a baller, Tielemans.
Yeah, I like Tielemans. Him, Maddison, and maybe someone like Mendy. They play a lot. I think he started last time.
Yeah, he did. It was Mendy and Tielemans in the double pivot.
But they could also have Dennis Pratt in there, who's also fairly solid. But I think we should be able to win that midfield battle. And then at the back, obviously Vardy up against our two centre backs. If he gets any sort of a counter attack or a run on them, we could be in trouble. So that's why we got to kind of stand off him a bit.
The thing is with Vardy, I think I back our centre back boys and Højbjerg to do a big job on him. I think that
Højbjerg is going to have to be very, very aware of Maddison.
Yeah, of course, but. When you look at our kind of past 5 games against Leicester, we've like I said, we've won 4 out of 5. Yes, Vardy scored a few here and there, but I don't think he's ever run us ragged like he has done other Premiership teams.
I agree.
I've always felt that we've done a good job on Vardy.
I think he might have a good record against us.
He does have a good record. He does score a few goals, but
he doesn't has a record in big games in general.
Yeah, but I'm saying he doesn't impact the game against us like he does against maybe your lower league Premier League teams.
Like Arsenal.
Yeah, exactly.
He has a lot better record against Arsenal, I think. Yeah, look, you may be right. I think when they played away at Arsenal last time, that was a really good. They actually. Had Vardy on the bench and brought him on late, and that was a really good tactical move because he was up against tired legs and he ended up getting a goal and the winner. I hopefully thinking we will create more. If Leicester allow us to have as much of the ball as they allowed Arsenal, I'm hoping we would be able to create more than Arsenal did, so it wouldn't quite work in their favour. But I think Leicester do know how to sit back and counter, and they do know how to exploit space if you give it to them. But that's why I can see us giving them possession, putting the onus on them to come to us, and then exploiting exploiting the quick transitions and whatever, because I think that's where the game could be won for us. But if we push too far up with especially the centre back pairing of Toby and Dyer, they could be exploited by Vardy's pace.
We won't do that. You know, Jose Mourinho, he's going to set up this game to completely win that, and he knows that if you give too much space in behind Vardy, he will just completely expose that. And especially with players like Maddison, who can play those delightful balls that can catch your defence out as well. So, and I think you know how Jose Mourinho is going to set this up.
Yeah, and I think the fullbacks should have, as much as the Leicester wingers have been okay this season, I think the fullbacks should have the better of them. Reguilon and Ori up against Barnes and Under, or Barnes and it's definitely Barnes, or it could be Barnes and Perez or Albrighton. We should definitely be licking our lips at those matchups. I think we can definitely get the better of them and exploit the space that they leave in behind. I think that for sure that's the joy that can be had. And if Ndombele plays, he's a big handful. And as much as Tielemans is a great player, I feel like Ndombele could have him for breakfast on the ball. I think he really could, because I don't think Tielemans is the best defensive player defensively.
No, I think he's really good on the ball.
He is. He's a fantastic passer of the ball.
Apart from that, yeah, he does sometimes leave a bit wanting on the defensive side.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. I think Ndombele, it's really important for him to stamp his authority in this game early. I think.
Or if it is Lo Celso who ends up playing, either way.
Yeah. I mean, either of them. I don't mind which one plays, to be honest, because I think both of them are really suited to this game.
I agree. And look, obviously Leicester, you've got to give them credit, because they've had a big injury list throughout the whole season, and they've had a big injury list to contend with. They're still
up there.
Yeah, riding high in fourth place with 8 wins out of 13 games. But you know, you can see from the 5 defeats that a lot of the times that they have struggled a lot big time, and you know, losing at home to Fulham is alarm bells start ringing when you get those kind of results.
But then on the flip side, they beat City at 5-2, wasn't it?
Right beginning of the season they beat City 5-2. Haven't quite had the same kind of results in games after. Obviously, they beat Arsenal away. They beat Leeds away. They beat
everyone beat Arsenal away this season.
Then they beat Leeds, who have kind of inconsistent results, don't they? They beat Wolves at home.
But actually, when you're looking at that, they haven't really beaten anyone in the top half apart from Man City.
They beat Brighton 3-0. They beat West Brom 3-0. Beat Burnley 4-2. So that's 3 relegations, 3 sides of the bottom. Saying. Arsenal on the other side of the bottom.
They lost. They got battered by West Ham 3-0. Who they're the
teams
top
in the top
team.
half. Yeah, West Ham 3-0. Villa 1-0 lost. Liverpool 3-0.
They beat Wolves.
And Everton 2-0.
Wolves are not even in the top half, are they?
They might be now after they being Chelsea. But look, they beat Wolves 1, they scraped past Wolves, and they just lost to Everton. So it does be a theme that whenever they come up against the side of the top half, they've struggled.
A bit similar to Chelsea, to be fair.
Fairly similar. And you know, Sheffield United, I watched that game, and they just scraped past it. 90th minute, wasn't it? Vardy goal to scrape past Sheffield United.
Was that when he smashed the corner flag?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So look, I think their results offer encouragement for us, but although they'll take encouragement, they've won a lot of games. I think we can definitely see the weaknesses in their game, and I think it'll definitely be advantage us. But what I would say is that they definitely are better away from home. It seems to suit them more, so they might feel like they can come and get a result at us. But I feel like with our improving home form, with their results against top half teams, I think we've got to be very confident of getting a win. And obviously anything other than win is going to be a very disappointing result. But we just got to make sure, after the poor last 2 games haven't won, we need to get back to winning ways as soon as possible. Yeah. And although Brendan's had a great season with Leicester and they're doing well, I think we're the better team and the more consistent team.
I have complete respect for Brendan and Leicester. I think they're a really good side, but I still don't think they're good enough for top 4 football come the end of the season. I genuinely believe that.
And just like last season, they dropped off, didn't they?
Too much. They were showed relegation form from January till the end of the season, literally, because that first half of the season they were showing Premier League winning form, and then they changed it to relegation form. So, I mean, when you really look into it, I genuinely believe Spurs are a level above Leicester. I think that. It might be a bit harsh on Leicester, it might be, but that's how highly I rate Spurs in this Jose Mourinho side. Like I said, I do rate Leicester, and I do think they're a good side, but I just think we're going to have a bit too much for them this weekend.
Between now and 19th of January, which is the halfway point of the season, they've still got to play us, United, Southampton and Chelsea. So he's still got a lot of tough games to play.
Yeah.
So maybe that 4th place, when it gets that 19th game of the season, it might be 7th, 8th kind of thing. We'll have to wait and see, because they do tend to struggle against teams in the top half. Whereas when we play teams in the top half, we've given everyone at least a game, and we've pretty much, what's that, 10 points out of a possible 15. 5 games, right? So 10 points out of possible 15. That shows that we're capable of competing against anyone.
Yeah.
So I think, obviously we have to be wary of Leicester. They're a good team, but I think we have to come away with a victory.
If we stick to our guns, stick to our principles, stick to Jose Mourinho's instruction, we win this game.
If we play like we've played against the other big sides, we'll win. We'll win for sure, and I'm confident we will do that. And we've shown consistency. There's nothing that tells me that we're going to drop off like in other games. Like, you know, when you see other teams, for example, like United and Leicester, like, some weeks you get really good performances, some weeks you get really bad performances, and you sometimes don't know what you're going to get. You know what you're going to get with Spurs. It's whether it's good enough to win the game is another question, but you know what you're going to get, and I think that knowing what we're going to get, we'll get the win.
How detrimental to our title ambitions would it be if we were to lose this game and Liverpool were to win this weekend?
It'll be a blow. Massive blow. If we lose to Leicester, make it 3 games on the trot, considering our consistency, I guess it depends on the performance, but if we're outclassed on Sunday, that'll be a very big blow for us.
I don't even think it depends on the performance. I think if we lose and Liverpool win, then mentally it will have a big drain on us.
Look, mentally have a drain, but if we batter them and have a lot of big chances and we just lose 1-0 or something, like really unluckily, I think we can still take encouragement from that we still have that consistency. But if we have a really poor performance and we drop points, then it's almost like, okay, maybe Spurs are starting to slip a bit, because all of a sudden it's Palace, Liverpool, and then this game, and all of a sudden it's like, is our form dropping away? But if we play really well and get unlucky, then obviously it'll be a massive blow mentally, but I still think it'll give us encouragement, and we can still have consistency going into season, and we'll get more points on the board, and we can still go on a run.
All right, so there you have it. That is our match preview. My brother's going 2-0. I am going 3-0. Very confident here at We Are Tottenham TV. Let's hope we put that onto the pitch. No Spursy moments this weekend. No Spursy moments. We have to win. We have to make that 4-goal cushion against Leicester. And who knows, we could be talking about going top of the league on Sunday as well.
You never know.
Liverpool have a very, very hard game away at Palace, as we saw last week how hard that game can be.
Yeah.
So you never know. But you've got to just take each game as it comes, as Jose Mourinho says. So let's go. First home game for a while. When was our last home game?
Our last home game was against
Arsenal.
Yeah, because we play all. Must have been Arsenal.
Exactly. That was our first home game for a while. So let's get back into the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Unfortunately,
on the trot
there are no fans there. Yeah. I think it'll be a big blow, that. But look, we got to just take the... Just doesn't matter. We have to just go in there, get those 3 points. It's a massive, massive game this weekend. Let me know your score predictions in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.